Hello, my name is Jane Malcolm and I am from the University of Edinburgh. And I'm going to begin by saying I love you. I'd like to stop for a little minute and think, how did that make you feel? For some of you, I'm guessing you thought it was a lovely thing to say, but for others, you were a little bit more uncomfortable. You don't know me, I don't know you. Why should I say I love you? But that's because we all have different experiences of love. Whether you're the lead professional working in an early learning and childcare setting, whether you're an academic, or whether you're a government policymaker, our own understanding of love drives the way we think about love-led practice in an early learning and childcare setting. But what we do know is that children have a right to love. It's important for their health and well-being. It's in the EECERA. So for the next 10 minutes or so, I am going to take you on a journey which will challenge your way of thinking about love-led practice in an early learning and childcare setting. I'm going to tell you a story. That's all, just a story. 20 years ago, I was a lead professional in an early learning and childcare setting. I worked with a 4-year-old girl called Alice. Now, Alice was bubbly girl. She had a mane of wild golden hair. She spoke with a bit of a lisp, and she had a smile that would melt the stoniest of hearts. But she also had a wild temper. That temper would present itself as anger, as frustration, as tears. She would hit out at other children, and she would lash out at staff. But at the same time, she could still be a very kind little girl. Now one day our mum came into us and said to the staff, had we noticed the hair thing, the hair clue? And we all laughed and said, well, what's the hair clue? And our mum said, if Alice comes into nursery with her hair all pleated and neat and tidy, then you know you're going to have happy Alice. But if she comes in with wild tangled hair, you'll know that I have not been able to pin her down to do her hair and you have angry Alice. We all rolled our eyes and thought, oh, great. But then one day, in ran Alice with her hair in a wild and tangled mess. We all sighed. What a morning we were going to have. However, this particular day, Alice ran straight up to me. She gave me a huge hug and she says, I love you, Jane. Without thinking, in a split second, I immediately naturally replied to her, and I love you too, Alice. Now, for some of you, that may be an uncomfortable feeling. But you know what? Every child, no matter what, deserves to know that they are loved. And that's what I believe. So I'm going to move you on a little bit to 10 years ago, when I was a further education lecturer in childhood practice. I used this very same story to illustrate to trainee practitioners the importance of love-led practice, or the importance of attachment theory. Now, the students were really keen to take what they had learned in class out into their placements. I had one particular student who was a very competent student and really listened in class. But he came in after placement one day and he was looking quite downhearted. So I asked him, what the problem was. And he said to me, I took what I learned in class out into placement, and I had a child who was upset because they'd fallen over and skinned their knee. He says, so I gave them a hug, and he says, you're okay. And this student was a father, and it was natural to him to give the child a hug and say, it's okay, you'll be fine. He said, and then afterwards I was taken aside by my supervisor and asked why I had done that. And he said, well, love's important to the child, and I wanted to make sure they knew they were loved and safe and secure. he says, I was immediately told that I wasn't allowed to do that. I wasn't allowed to hug the children. He says, but that's not what we learned in class. Now, this really upset me. It made me think, why is this? Why is this the case? So I asked some students who were lead professionals, and they listened to the story, and we had a bit of a chat, and they said to me, yep, that's what we would say as well. Horrified, I said, why? When we know the importance of love and attachment to children's health and well-being, why would you say that? Their answer was surprisingly simple, because the policies don't allow it. Now, Catherine Marshall said that lead practitioners cling to the rules like a rope on a stormy deck. This got me thinking, why have we got policies that are restricting lead practitioners in this way from managing what I call love-led practice? I'm going to scoot you on to the work that I'm doing now. I'm the policy manager for a national organisation that works for private nurseries and third sector nurseries. So I am working with the Scottish Government, and it's my role to lobby on behalf of our members and work on the development of the current policies. So I have first-hand experience at the moment of what it is to develop policies. There are two things that have come apparent to me when working in policy development. The first thing is the language that is used in policy. I did a bit of a kind of analysis of all the policy documents that we have at the moment in early learning and childcare in Scotland. Out of 13 policy documents, love was mentioned in 7 of them. And in 4 of them, it was mentioned once. Words like nurturing, care, compassion were much more obvious, with them appearing many, many more times than love. But my argument is these are components of love. These are not actually love. We need to get love into the policy documents in order for lead professionals to feel that they can work with love. The second thing is the complex nature of policy development. Policy is pushed and pulled in so many different directions. Take me, for instance. One role I have is to lobby on behalf of the members to ensure that we get the best deal out of policy for the members and the children they work with. My second role is to advocate on behalf of children and their rights as an academic. So me alone, I'm pushing and pulling it in 2 different directions. So if we have lots of different organisations and if we have the politicians who have their own understandings of what they want the policy to do, if it gets pushed and pulled in so many different directions, we lose sight of what the original aim was. We need to not do that. We need to all come together and have, if we want love at the heart of our policies in early learning and childcare, we need to all use the same language. Now, we've seen recently love is creeping into the policy landscape in Scotland. Most recently, we had Nicola Sturgeon announce the programme for government, and in that there is a direct link to providing children with love, not just financial support, but love. We need to get love there. The care review is now looking at putting love at the heart of the care that we give to children. So we have an opportunity here in Scotland. We have an opportunity to start to build and to embed love into these policy documents. So I want you to stop for a second and just think about a world without love. It's not a very nice place. We need love. Children need love. We all need love at some point. So for children like Alicia and students like Alex to experience love-led practice, we need the policymakers, the academics, the lead professionals. We all need to ensure that we're embedding love into the policy documents that lead professionals are using to manage love-led practice. We need to give them the freedom to manage love-led practice with integrity and professionalism. We need to create an alternative professional identity which allows lead practitioners to have love at the heart of their practice. So I'm going to leave you on this note. Try and just tell a child the next time you're working with them that you love them. See what their reaction is. Children give you their love as a gift. Accept that gift.